Why are we in our formal attire, you may ask? Well, it's because we are doing sunscreen awards. This is either the Grammys or the Emmys or the equivalent of Korean sunscreens for summer of 2024. I have purchased and tried so many different sunscreens, and I've been very vocal about my esthetician opinion that Asian sunscreens are just better than what we have here in America. They're less expensive, they're more cosmetically elegant, most of them are SPF 50 and some are even water resistant, and that just blows a lot of American sunscreens out of the park that are quite often pasty, white casty, and just overall disappointing, the way I am to my parents. And these are hands down some of the best sunscreens available for the price, including some brand new things, and including me outing some things that other people are really happy about that I actually don't think are the best. For example, you know that I worked with Isntree to create a purple onion sunscreen? There are some new ones that don't make it to this list. We're gonna be brutally honest about that and why. And let's just say we've come a long way from the days where the Make Prem and the Frudia were my favorite. Do you remember when I first started getting into K-Beauty? Stylevanna was like the place that I would go to purchase K-Beauty at a discount. It's still where I go. It's one of the best, least expensive options, even though the shipping can take a little while. Well, I used to be obsessed with the Make Prem and with the Frudia SPF 50. These are two great sunscreens still, but they don't even make it on this list because there are so many other things that have emerged or appeared or that I've just realized are so much better. So we're gonna go put these on the back shelf. And let's get to announcing some of these awards because there are some very noteworthy contestants here. First, we have to address the controversy here because while this Isntree Purple Protector is one of my favorites for my oily, acne-prone skin, this is not going to work with everyone on every skin type. There are some people that this just won't work for. And while Isntree did launch some new purple sunscreens, those actually don't even make it to this list because of the way that one of them, the SPF 50, kind of pilled under makeup. It's really great and lightweight if you can handle the pilling or if you aren't layering it with a bunch of stuff, but I just found that the actual application was lackluster, especially when I compare it to the original purple formula. Now, Isntree did come out with a purple sun stick that is pretty good, but it doesn't compare to some of the other sun sticks that other brands have launched or that have been around and that I just discovered. And I wanted to address that, discuss that, and get it out of the way. Now, if you have oily, acne-prone skin and you need a sunscreen that feels good on your skin, kind of gives you a nice satin finish, this is absolutely one of my favorites, one of the best. But as an esthetician, I know that just because something works for me and just because I love it doesn't mean it's always going to work for everyone else. And that's why it's important to know what your skin type is, what your skin concerns are, and then what products are going to work best for your specific situation. Let's start breaking that down because something that a lot of people like to compare this Purple Protector sunscreen and the original Isntree SPF 50 hyaluronic acid watery sun cream to is this guy, the Beauty of Joseon Relief Rice Sun Probiotics sunscreen. Now this is good, but it comes out a little bit white and it feels very similar to the Isntree hyaluronic acid watery sun cream, but I don't actually think that it's better. This is good, it's comparable, but not better, especially when you compare it to this, which is, I feel like people are sleeping on this. It's from the same brand, Beauty of Joseon, but this formula is absolutely superior. You see, Joseon or Joseon is what Korea was called way back in history. You know, when you think of the different dynasties and in history who kind of ruled that land. Well, Beauty of Joseon or Joseon is basically talking about the beauty of that era. And let's be honest, a lot of people in Korea who I've spoken to have said, Beauty of Joseon sounds like something my grandmother would use. Like this is something that the ajumas, basically the old grandmas, use in Korea. But here, all of the youngsters love it because it works so well. So it's really interesting when you go to Korea what's actually popular versus what's popular here in America. And if you want me to do a video breaking that down based on my experience and what I learned when going and talking with friends, let me know because you know that I love to spill the beans. I love to spill the tea. I love to poke the hornet's nest. There's literally a hornet's nest outside, which is why that comes to mind. And I should probably call someone about that. Like that's an issue. This is way better. This is like a gel sunscreen and I've never felt anything like this. This is also an SPF with ginseng, which is a beautiful antioxidant. You've probably heard of it in teas. And in Asia, people actually consume this ginseng in food and in supplements as well as on the skin. And what I love about this is that this is a beautiful gel. Do you see this? It almost looks like a lightweight, imagine Vaseline in a gel. Like it seals over the skin so well, but it's in a gel texture. It's a gel refreshing formula. Like it makes your skin actually feel moist, but then it absorbs so beautifully. And when you compare it to the other rice and probiotic, this one's just so much better if you want something lightweight. This one, as you can see, kind of goes on white and you need to rub it in, whereas this one actually comes out like a translucent cream, almost a tinge of yellow because of those antioxidants, and then it just blends in with like barely a touch. If you are someone who hates blending in your sunscreen or hates the feel of sunscreen, this SPF 50 is so good. And it's PA+++, meaning it prevents from the UVA and the UVB rays. One of the best, so much better than the other ones that people are talking about, and I feel like people are sleeping on this, but this absolutely gets an award for the best lightweight gel texture. Mwah. Mwah, 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 mwah. But what if you're looking for something a little bit more cushiony, a little bit more fluffy? This is one that came out about a year ago, but over the past 12 months, I've been playing around with this. I actually brought this to Korea and was testing it there. This holds up in so many different weathers. If you are in the snow in Toronto, if you are in the hot desert sun, if you are in Jeju Island in the tropical weather of Korea, this stuff pulls through. This right here is the Haru Haru Wonder Black Rice Moisture Airy Fit Sunscreen, and this is also a price that can't be beat. This is so good, and it does kind of come out this white, but it blends in relatively easily. And this one actually feels like whipping cream on your face. Have you ever made homemade whipped cream? I once tried and it turned out to be butter. Maybe that's why I'm vegan, because I just couldn't figure out how to cook. Anyways, this feels like that moment where you're starting to whip the cream and it's starting to tent up and become actual whipped cream if you're like a baker or a cook or a chef or one of those people, right? I love this so much, and you definitely feel it a little bit more on the skin. But if you're someone who's looking for something that works under makeup, it blends in seamlessly and it works throughout different climates, this is going to be your best friend because it works in so many different versatile ways. And the name Haru Haru Wonder literally means day by day in Korean. And the idea is that you're creating healthy skin habits day by day. I love this. It even says on the front, non-greasy velvet finish. It is so good. Just don't get this confused with the other purple one. They have another sunscreen that I was testing out, and it's an SPF that is completely mineral. The mineral one is good. If you're really sensitive, you might want to use that. But this one's way better. And if you are in your Wanderlust, World Explorer, Miss Nomad Adventurer era, this is like the one thing that you're gonna pack along with your laptop on your trip. This is so good. This has been to more countries than my ex, okay? Okay, so good. And if you do want to try the mineral one, it's not as good as this, but it might be better if you have sensitive skin. But before you just go for the mineral version, do this. Do you recognize this? This is an oldie, but a goodie. This is the Rovectin Skin Essentials Aqua Soothing UV Protector Advanced Formula Hypoallergenic Non-Chemical Filter Sun Cream. This is a mineral sunscreen from Korea that does not leave a white cast. And I was looking at this, I was giving it side eye originally. I was like, how do y'all do that? There's someone near and dear to me named Doris, who her eyes would water and swelter with every sunscreen she put on her skin. American, German, Indian, Asian, you name it, every sunscreen would irritate her eyes. This is the one that doesn't. This is still so good. And I discovered this at Stylovana, and I think it was under 20 bucks. And years later, it's still under 20 bucks. You can get it on sale for like 14. And it is literally one that I have rubbed in my eyes. I don't recommend you rub it in your eyes, but it is a mineral hypoallergenic formula that is so incredibly gentle. I can't even begin to tell you. Now, this takes a hot second to rub in. This is mineral. And that's why, you know, when you compare it to some of the chemical/organic filters, she different. She a different species, okay? It's like a dolphin and a narwhal. We're similar, but not the same thing. But if you are someone who is super sensitive, this was literally made for sensitive skin, and it has been proven time and time again to work so well. And this is actually pretty much one of the only mineral sunscreens that makes it to this top of 2024 list. Because a lot of mineral sunscreens are just disappointing, and I am a Fitzpatrick type 2. I do want to see how this works on different skin tones. If you guys don't know Esther, she is the melanin chemist. She is amazing. And she's recently been talking about sunscreens. Her series is called, what is it called? Ghostly and Gaslit, I think is what it's called. And she literally tests out different sunscreens that claim to be mineral and sheer on her beautiful black skin. And she is celebrating brands that are doing it right, or outing brands that have this predatory marketing and telling them, don't say it's sheer unless it actually is, which I so appreciate about her. And I would say literally go follow her right now. I'll leave her link in the description because again, her content is amazing, and she's a chemist and she actually knows the science of skincare and breaks down the that we see every day on the internet. Literally, I'm like bombarded with bullshit on the internet. Does anyone feel like it's gotten so much worse? I feel like with short form content, everyone is just saying their hot takes and there's no real time to actually get into the nuance of things. And it's just created like a cesspool of like internet clout zombies that will say anything like sunscreen causes cancer to try to fearmonger you into giving them your likes. Does anyone else feel it this way? Again, I've said it before, I've been saying it for 15 years and I'll say it for 15 more. The internet internet is not always a library. It is a dumpster. Be careful of what you are finding, including what I say. Fact check me, okay? That's why we have the sources listed, and that's why I do the testing. But still, fact check everything, including your medical esthetician acne big sister, okay? All of that being said, I can get this to rub in clear on me. They don't claim that this is a sheer sunscreen, which is why I get a little bit nervous recommending it. But if you're looking for something that does not sting the eyes and you can literally rub into your eyes, this is the one, baby. This is probably the most gentle Korean sunscreen I've ever found. Fact check me, tell me if you agree, tell me if you disagree. I've rubbed it not only in my eyes, but in other people's eyes for you. And if that doesn't deserve a like or a subscribe, then I don't know what else does, but tell me, because I'm here to delight and surprise, okay? Okay, literally, I just want your validation. Moral of the story is sensitive babies rejoice. And speaking of sensitivity, I have heard some rumors that that one brand that does my favorite vegan snail mucin, I think they're launching a sunscreen. I'm outing this because I heard some rumors that something new is coming, and I was even thinking, like, do I wait until I test these new sunscreens that are launching before filming this video? And I realized, no, if they can't get to it, it's gonna be halfway through summer and we're gonna be out here burnt, looking like lobsters, connecting melanoma dots like we're trying to fill up a bingo card of the different actinic keratoses, basal cell carcinomas, and malignant growths that could literally destroy our lives and our skin. And so instead of waiting for this, I decided we're gonna do this now, and if you need updates, that's what the subscribe and the shorts button are for. So I'm excited to try out VGreen's new sunscreen when it launches because I heard that it's really good for sensitive skin, but you know I'm gonna test it, I'm gonna try it, I'm gonna rub it in my eyes and buy it so that I can give you the truth as to whether or not it works. But speaking of stuff that works, one product that I found while in Korea in December, January of this year literally combines one of my favorite ordinary products with Korean beauty heaven. It is the K-Secret Sol 1988 sunscreen with pycnogenol. Remember pycnogenol, my favorite little pine antioxidant in that ordinary serum? I love it. It's bright orange, it smells like pine trees, but a lot of people say that it either smells too earthy or it's too greasy on their skin. Korea has been putting pycnogenol in their sunscreen since, I mean, I don't even know if this has been around since 1988, but that's what the package says. So am I being gaslit, or is this like when it was created? Either way, the brand is called K-Secret. That sunscreen is phenomenal. And I say that because this, while it's from the same brand, this is actually a serum because that sunscreen is literally in my suitcase. I'm planning a trip for tomorrow and I cannot go without it. I need this sunscreen in my life, and it's small enough that I can actually carry it onto the plane with me. If you want pycnogenol protection in a lightweight sun cream that you can use every single day, the K-Secret sunscreen is literally one of the best. I don't know where this was years ago. I get it off of Amazon nowadays, but it is absolutely one of my favorites, and it hands down makes this. The only thing that could make this K-Secret better is that if it were waterproof. And that's honestly how I feel about a lot of these. It's like, if it's waterproof, it would be better, but we'll roll with the punches and take what we can. If you love pycnogenol as much as I do, that little antioxidant boost that is super, super potent, or if you wanted to love it, but you hated it in the Ordinary's product because it was too greasy, the K-Secret, it's like 18 bucks. I've gotten it on sale for 15. You can find it on Amazon. So good. And this is one of those brands that's actually used in Korea that can be kind of hard to get here, but it's because it's always selling out. Again, I just wish that it were waterproof. Speaking of waterproof, there's definitely some beautiful water marketing on some of these Skin Chonsa products. Do you remember this? This is the Centella Hylucica Water Fit Sun Serum. Hands down one of the best K-Beauty sunscreens I've ever tried. This has been a top seller for years, and it's been on my favorites list. And while I still think it is a favorite and it definitely makes it into this category, we gotta talk about the other stuff that they have, because I had to rely on this when I was a depressed sack of llama fluff. I don't even know what a depressed sack of llama fluff is, but llamas spit a lot, and I felt like I was just covered in my own drool and snot and tears for like the past year. So if I was anything, I was a depressed sack of llama fluff covered in drool and tears, okay? Okay, I literally had days where all I could do is rub the CosRx micellar water on my face, or like a makeup wipe, like micellar water and a makeup wipe, ew, and then put this sunscreen on. And this is PA+++, so it did protect me from the UVA rays that come through the windows, and the UVB rays weren't really a concern because, again, I wasn't even going outside and burning. Windows stop UVB rays, but not UVA rays, and that's why a truck driver who always drove without sunscreen looks like this, where one side of his face has a bunch of skin damage from the sun and UVA rays, and the other side does not. And if you don't want your skin to end up looking like this is why it's important, if you're taking long drives, to use sunscreen or to use hats. fats and other forms of skin protection. Well, this came to my rescue, and I have to say, I feel like I've kind of been loving this just as much, if not more than this. This Hylucica Water Fit Sun Cream is so lightweight. It is so beautiful on the skin, absolutely stunning. But this, it almost feels like a slightly more mattifying version. I wouldn't call it mattifying. It's definitely like a skin finish, but it grips onto makeup really well, and it's more hydrating than any other sunstick that I've used. A lot of other sunsticks that we will talk about are a little bit more actual matte, and they kind of take away the grease. This gives you a glow while giving you hydration and sun protection. And I feel like sunsticks are better used as reapplication. It's better to go in with like a base and then reapply. And guess what? These two are a match made in heaven. Literally, you could use this as your base and then use this to reapply over or under makeup throughout the day. Absolutely wonderful. And if you're looking for a sunstick, the Hylucica, one of the best. Not the best, which we're gonna talk about, but one of the best. And they have all this water on their marketing. Unfortunately, it's not water resistant or waterproof, which is unfortunate, but these do have a whole bunch of hydrating ingredients, including centella from Madagascar. They literally source it ethically and sustainably from Madagascar and put it in these products, and it is so good. I don't know if this is limited edition or not, but they have this Glow Duo, which I recommended to everyone. If you were on my Instagram stories, you saw this before it sold out. If you didn't, then I am sorry. But this was basically, they were selling like 2 for the price of 1, and you could get the ampule along with the sun cream as like a 2-in-1. So good. If you want to layer them and you're looking for hydration and like a little bit of glowiness, do these. But if you are looking for something more mattified, we gotta go back to Beauty of Joseon. This right here is titled the Matte Sunstick with Mugwort and Camellia. And let me say, this is the most mattifying sunstick I've literally ever used. I am an oily bitch, okay? I am an oily babe. Look at how this cuts down the grease on my cheeks. Not those cheeks, you weirdo. Look at how this literally cuts down the grease on my nose. Now, if you're dry, you're gonna hate this. But if you loved the purple protector, you are going to love this. If you're oily, this is like a dream come true. Forget blotting sheets. Like, you don't need blotting sheets anymore. You just swipe this on. Now, it has mugwort and this camellia. Both of those are great antioxidants. Mugwort is actually used in Korea for blemish-prone skin, but it's actually ingested orally as a tea for people who have menstrual cramps. And while I was in Korea, my double uteruses decided to flare up and have their little knife party where they stab at each other and, you know, ruin my life. I was just cramping so bad. And I literally got to go to a beautiful rural farm and actually see where onions that we source for our sunscreen are literally harvested. But the farmer actually gave me some homemade mugwort tea, literally dried mugwort, and I got to consume it. And I don't know if it was placebo effect or the pain meds I was taking, but yeah, I definitely felt better in the cramp division afterwards. So interesting. At the very least, it's a good antioxidant, and at the very best, it's wonderful for blemishes and hormone balance if you want to believe that. But overall, it is a fantastic mattifying sunstick, and if you love the purple protector, layer it with this. So good. Isntree did launch a purple sunstick that comes out clear. That's good, but I'm gonna bring it to you honest as always. While it is great and it almost made it to this list, it didn't, because this is better, okay? Okay, and honestly, I'm starting to think even the original Isntree sunstick is even better than the new purple one. I have to play around with it. I have to continue testing and trying, but I will give it to you honest as always. And that is my opinion. Literally my opinion. Onion. Get it? Because I put onions in the sunscreen. I got dad jokes and I'm not even a dad. How about it? Another sunscreen that I paraded with me around Korea that is so good is this one. This is the Centella Sun Cream from Mixu. Now, if you have sensitive skin, stay away. This has fragrance in it. It's not going to be for everyone. But if you are looking for some Centella hydration, if you are someone who loves green tea, if you drink it in your matcha, if you love it, this is absolutely beautiful. If you have dry, dehydrated skin the way I do right here, because I literally lasered off my chest. If you didn't see how I lasered off my chest, are you even subscribed? Anyways, she's visibly crusty and this smooths it over so well. Now, when I'm oily, this does not work for me. I think this is better for the super dry babes, especially because it absorbs so well. It is fragranced, so again, not for the sensitive skin. But if you want something that feels like you are literally melting beams of sun in your hand, that's what this feels like. It feels like liquid gold. It feels like the smoothest, silkiest matcha that you've ever consumed. It comes out white, not green, but literally, if you could imagine the absolute most delicious, delicate, ceremonial grade matcha that is just so fine, you can barely tell there's a texture there, that is what this feels like. It was our beautiful butterfly Raiden that recommended this to me over 1.5 years ago, and as I've played around more and more, I realized this just keeps making it up the list. It is so good, and I am so grateful when you guys recommend things to me or when you tell me to test and try something, because sometimes I find absolute favorites. Bankson is amazing. The entire brand bases a lot of their formulas off of fermented soybeans as well. This is just so good. And the price for this, again, it's Asian beauty. It really can't be beat, especially when you compare it to like the things that we have in the States like Neutrogena. So much better. But if you love the Neutrogena sunscreen, there's actually something even better. Because again, this has fragrance, Neutrogena doesn't. Babes, have you seen this? I bought this at Olive Young. I am obsessed. So when I went to Olive Young, I have an entire like 2-hour-long shopping spree that was gotten lost on the internet somewhere, coming to you whenever the I find it and we get it edited. But as part of that, over the past year, I've been testing the things that I purchased there. I spent way too much money at Olive Young. It's like a 2-story Sephora with skincare and supplements and menstrual products. Imagine going into Sephora and being able to find skincare and makeup, press-on nails, supplements for inner beauty and outer beauty, like for health and nutrition, and then menstrual products because it's not shamed in Korea. WTF. Anyways, mind blown cultural revelation for little Cass, okay? Anyways, while I was there, I purchased this sunscreen called Round Round that again, like the Sol 1988, is in my car, ready to be packed and taken away. So I don't have it right here in front of me, but it is so good and it is basically a dupe for the Neutrogena. If you look at the ingredients, if you look at the formula, it is less expensive, cruelty-free, K-Beauty version of Neutrogena, and it honestly feels better on the skin. One of, hands down, the best Olive Young purchases I've ever made. And here's the issue that I actually ran into when I was first talking about it in a Neutrogena dupes video. I called it Round Lab. This right here with a girl sitting under the birch tree is Round Lab. Round Round is the green package, which is completely different. They're different brands. I just mispronounced them because dyslexia decided to lex all the disses that day. I don't know, okay? Anyways, I did a little oopsie when I was originally talking about it, but it has really taken over as one of my absolute favorites. And if you're someone who is transitioning from American sunscreens over to starting to dip your toe in the water and try out some Asian beauty, the Round Round is going to be one of your best bets because it is familiar, it is inexpensive, and it just works so well. However, speaking of Round Round and Round Lab, this is actually one of the best-selling sunscreens in Korea. This is what the Koreans love, that a lot of people out here aren't talking about. But shocker, this is not my favorite, my number one, my go-to for summer 2024, okay? It's good, but it's not the best of the best. This right here is from Round Lab, and again, I can't read the Korean, unfortunately. I am trying to learn, but it is difficult. However, I've had friends and colleagues and other people that I know from Korea actually help me translate this, and it literally has birch inside of it. This, babe, if you thought that you loved the rice and probiotic from Beauty of Joseon, you are going to love this. This is so much better, and it does come out kind of this cream color, but it is extraordinarily lightweight. If you want something that works under makeup, you can literally just pat this in and it absorbs so beautifully into the skin. And because this is a chemical/organic sunscreen, it works on all skin tones. So it doesn't leave any white cast. This is absolutely beautiful. All of my friends and colleagues in Korea told me to pat, not to swipe in the sunscreen because I guess it causes less wrinkles, but they pat it in. And specifically for this formula, I found that it makes a difference. If you actually pat this formula into the skin, it gives you like this dewy, soft finish, where I found that if you actually rub it into the skin, it gives you more of a glowy finish. Like it does end up looking a little bit more glassy. And I love that it's so versatile. Like I can see why this is one of the top sellers in Korea. And I would say that, yeah, this is absolutely one of the best. Look at how pretty that is. Not to mention the art. Don't buy things for the package. Okay, I'm kind of pointing 4 fingers at myself. When I say that, I'm pointing at you, but I'm like myself. I am a sucker for the package. Don't buy it for the package, buy it for the price, for the performance, and the morals and values and your research on the brand. But if it has pretty packaging, that's definitely not a bad thing. And again, it's an SPF 50 PA+++. I just wish that it were waterproof. However, that birch actually seems to have some very similar properties to the pycnogenol that's found in the pine. So if for some reason this didn't work out for you, you didn't want to try this, there's a reason this is a #1 seller in Korea, okay? But again, it's not my #1. We're gonna get to my #1 in just a second, but we have to talk about this. This blew my mind. If you want something fun, if you want something frilly, if you want something that you could literally show off to your friends, this Glow Recipe stick is it. And I'm actually shocked this is showing up on the list because Glow Recipe is technically a Korean American brand. It's made by 2 Korean women who really take the culture and influence of Korea and those traditions into the products, but it is made in America. Literally, it says on the back, made in New York with globally sourced ingredients. And and the founders are basically from America. They met in America, etc. So I was kind of on the fence about whether or not I should include this, but then I realized we're talking about the best K-Beauty sunscreens. I guess you could technically call this K-Beauty, and I would be a disservice not talking about this. Again, is this for the sensitive skin? No, but if you want glass, glowy skin, and if you want something that smells like a Jolly Rancher, this is it. I have not been shy about really loving the Glow Recipe Watermelon Moisturizer. I don't love every Glow Recipe product. I feel like the pomegranate thing was pretty bad. The avocado thing was a disaster, but their Cloudberry Toning Essence, mwah, really good. And their Watermelon Glow Recipe Moisturizer, tried and true, one of my favorites for years. This is better. Better than the Niacinamide Dewdrops, better than the Blueberry Cleanser, probably one of the best things that Glow Recipe has ever launched. Their watermelon sunscreen, it was not my favorite. We did a review on that. If you didn't see me test it out, oh, we tested it, and I was honest about it. But this, on the other hand, probably one of the best products that Glow Recipe even sells, and it's the only Korean American brand that even made it on this top, whatever 24, however many products is on this list. I love this. Now, again, not for the sensitive skin. This will give you that K-Beauty glow. I actually like to apply this over makeup on my highlight areas because you see how it gives you that sheen. Basically, this Glow Recipe and this Mugwort mattifying stick are polar opposites. So if you want dew and shine and gloss, go with a Glow Recipe. If you want mattified, velvety, zero shine, that's when you want the Beauty of Joseon matte sun stick. But this literally smells like candy. And if you just want to have fun with your skincare, it's an SPF 45 with niacinamide, so it actually shrinks the look of pores. This is fantastic. I would recommend it for reapplication over sunscreen or makeup, but it is so, so, so good. It's probably the funnest one on this list. Like if you just want to have fun, you just want to have a good time, this one. But it is not the best of the best. You know we had to save the best for last. And this is actually something that I discovered inside the walls of Style Korean. I got to go to the Style Korean headquarters. I literally got to see where everyone works and like where the products are stored and new products that are launching and the ones that got awards. And I started to dig into some new stuff that I never got to try before. I had heard of a bib. I didn't know how to pronounce it. A bib. Well, Habibi. I discovered this and it is so good. And this right here, I must say at this point in time, based on all of the sunscreens I've tested, I am declaring this to be the sunscreen for summer 2024. Can we give it a round of applause? This right here is the Airy Sunstick Soothing Bar SPF 50 PA+++, and it's waterproof or water resistant. I guess no sunscreen is technically waterproof, but it is water resistant for 80 minutes. Ah! Literally, this right here, it might look like a deodorant for your face, but it is literally one of the most beautiful sunsticks in the entire world. You can use it on your face, you can use it on your chest, you can use it on your neck. It goes on like a dream. It's kind of like this half moon shape, so it's really easy to apply, especially to like the contours of your face. It feels like mango butter on the skin. This is one of probably the best sunstick I've ever used. And again, this is great for combo skin. It's great for all skin types. If you're super oily, you want something matte, yeah, you might like this better. If you're super dry and you want something glowy, okay, this one. But if you want something right in the middle, layers well over, under makeup, over, under other sunscreen, water resistant, this is it. Absolutely one of the best Korean beauty sunscreens I have ever used. And what's crazy is that the sun filters it uses are both Korean and American. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds because you're not getting the greasy nastiness and the white casty that comes from America, but you are getting the superior formulation that comes from Korea. This is so good. Now they also have this Abib stick. This is the quick sunstick protection bar. This one is just an SPF 50. It's not the waterproof one. I feel like this one is more of like a Vaseline. If you want Vaseline in a stick with sun protection, go with this. Again, it has the really cool half moon shape and it is absolutely invisible too. This is still really good, but hands down, this is the best sunscreen of the summer. And I will say you should probably apply sticks over regular sunscreen. Lab Muffin Beauty Science did a really great video and analysis about how people apply sun sticks versus regular sun cream, and that most people don't apply enough and they don't rub in their sun sticks, so they're not getting full coverage. And that's the point of not becoming an overbaked UV lobster du jour filled with melanoma, basal cell carcinoma, and actinic keratoses, right? Is that we want to prevent that because we're applying sunscreen evenly into all of the places that we need to. Well. And while there is some very good criticism of sun sticks out there, it's been recommended that they can be used very safe and efficiently as long as you rub them in or you apply them over top of another liquid sun cream. cream. So just make sure that you're using enough. My favorite thing to do is use a sunscreen mirror. I literally have my little Finchillin cat chinchilla sunscreen mirror that I use to make sure that I'm applying evenly. And I can actually get a full application with just this and rubbing it in, and I don't miss a spot. But if you don't have the Finchillin UV mirror, maybe don't use a sunstick, because think about it, if I go like this, you know, I'm missing the corner of my nose and I didn't even realize it, right? But when you use the sunscreen mirror, you can actually see where you missed. Or if you use the purple protector, because it's purple, you can actually see where you missed, and then you rub it in and then it disappears. But this is the sunscreen of the summer. I never would have expected it to be a stick. I never would have expected it to look like a deodorant. And quite frankly, I'm surprised that there aren't more water resistant or waterproof Korean and Asian beauty sunscreens out there. I am purchasing and testing a couple more, as well as waiting patiently for this V-Green sunscreen to launch. But if we need to do a follow-up later this summer with another award show, we will. But for now, based on my esthetician opinion as someone who has traveled to Korea multiple times, spent thousands of dollars on products, and has seriously tested probably over 10,000 products within the course of my career. Been doing this in the beauty industry for over 15 damn years now. No, 17 years? I started in 2008. I started this channel in 2010. Anyways, I'm not getting any younger, which is not a bad thing, but as I embrace graceful aging, I want to do so in a way that doesn't harm my health from the UV rays of the sun. And this baby, mwah, Abib, Abibi, Abib, Abib, I love this. I get it from Style Korean. I am so grateful that this was introduced to me. This is the sunscreen of the summer. I'm calling it today. So yay, congratulations, huge awards. Someone give him a trophy, her, it, trophy time. We can all celebrate now. And again, just because I think this is the best, of course, there are some niche circumstances where you might like one of these better, but the other reason that I think this is #1 is because it plays so well with all of the other formulas that I've mentioned here. Even when I go for a little swim, a dip in the water, because this is water resistant. If there's another Asian beauty sunscreen that I didn't mention here that you want me to buy, test, and try, that's literally what I do for you. Put it in the comments. Make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Again, huge congratulations to our winner, the deodorant looking Abibi Sunstick. Woohoo! Anyways, I love this, I love you, and I cannot wait to see you in this next video. Love you guys. Bye.